The Pen Files welcomes you back to another beautiful weekend. To the series of the book From Pen to Pen. Today we'll be going over chapter 3. Chapter 3 is entitled, A Hero is Born. A hero is born. What does that help us understand? How can we sit back and really understand that statement, that terminology? A hero is born. First, we got to ask, what is a hero? Can we look at Superman and say he's a hero? Batman, Robin. How about your parents? Always coming through for you. Your brother, your sister. Are they superheroes? How can a superhero be defined? Today we're going to take a little turn, and the topic that we're going to go over today is going to be a little touchy. Why? Because this topic deals with suicide. The topic today is going to look at and it's going to examine suicide. And this story, A Hero is Born, it takes place in a prison industrial complex. And right before my very eyes, I see something and I witness a situation that I never thought that I would ever see. But that's life for you. Every day, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. From the signs of the unseen, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. It's a principle. So because of that, I hold on to another religious principle and I say, if it be the will of Allah, if it be the will of God Almighty, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. I try not to say I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do that without including him and his will. He commands and what he decrees. So today, again, we're going to look at suicide inside a story that has been entitled in the 3rd chapter. And I'm hoping that many of you have purchased the book. The book can be purchased on Amazon. The book can be purchased on Barnes & Noble. It's on ebook. It can be purchased. And this book is made available to the general public. Now, and moving forward, suicide. What is suicide? I mean, we're going to give the generic version of suicide. It's when one person takes his life. And the coroner says that he died by suicide. This individual, he died by suicide. Now, what is suicide? How can we define this term? Is it a mental illness? Is it something that could be found in the DSM-4, the DSM-5? When a person takes his life, many of the times this individual is suffering from a mental illness. suffering from a traumatic event, suffering from an episode that caused this man to be on the edge. An episode that caused this man to be on the edge. So much so that he believes that taking his life is the best course of action. This man believes that taking his life is the best course of action. Now, when I say man, it's general. So this applies to women as well as men, children, as well as grown-ups, adults. Suicide has many faces. So I went and I looked and I examined the countries that lead the race in suicide. And I looked at the top 10 because I was hoping I didn't find America in the top 10. However, these stories, they come up all the time. You hear of a guy, he's in a relationship with a female. And he kills the female. And then he turns around and he kills himself. A situation where a relationship, it took a left turn. A relationship, it took a nasty turn. Not only did the individual kill the person that he claimed to love, but he also ended up killing himself. These situations are common here in America. But America is not the leading country for suicide. America is not the leading country for suicide. The number one country, Lesotho, number one country, leading country. South Africa is number 10. Lesotho is number 1 and South Africa is number 10. And in between those, you will not find the United States of America. However, it doesn't mean suicide attempts is not taking place. We have a book here in America called the DSM-4, the DSM-5. This book is known as the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. The Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. Now, when an individual is going for his master's in the field of social work, he's going to come across mental disorders. He's going to come across a very, very vigorous class dealing with mental disorders, their components, and the likes. And you're going to find that he's going to be exposed to all of the mental disorders that plague society, all of the mental disorders that plague mankind. And here in America, we have the DSM-4. This book is known as, it's like the Bible for mental disorders. DSM-4 is the old one. It's the oldest, it's the older version. They just went up one number. So now they have the DSM-5. In this book, you can download it. You can get the PDF copy, download it. And this is something good to have in your library. The Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. 5 is the most up-to-date. The scholars of medicine, they all come together and they define these terminologies that's connected to these mental disorders. This is where you'll find bipolarism, manic depression, okay, hypertension, the likes. This is where you find these disorders that affect society. An individual you see and you wondering why he act the way he act. Why is he sounding the way he's sounding? Because he's suffering from a mental disorder. So this story, a hero is born, It's me being exposed. It's me being put out on the front line, and having to deal with a problem, a situation that I can't say I was trained in. A situation that I say, well, this ain't my specialty. I don't have a degree at this. I don't have no training at this. I don't have no real knowledge of how to deal with this problem at the time that this story was written. And the story became so dear to me because I wanted to put myself in the shoes of the individual and ask myself that question. Could I see myself taking on this type of situation? Can I see myself committing suicide? Again, I got to go back to principles. Principles. I live and I die by principles. These principles is what keeps me moving forward. These principles have been indoctrinated and legislated inside religious doctrines. And these principles are the principles that I live and I die by on a daily basis. One principle I've learned is that when an individual commits this act, he doesn't just take himself, but everyone that's connected to him, he takes them with him. He leaves behind a family. So now the family is going to suffer from a traumatic event that took place with one of their loved ones. So again today, chapter 3, a hero was born. What happened? What took place? I received a phone call. I was attending an event in which I was given an opportunity to see one of the pugilists, one of the great pugilists of our time, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins, an elite boxer in the field of pugilism. It was on a rainy night, and this was how I was going to spend my day off. Going to sit back and watch one of my individuals who I look to in the boxing world as a true champion in the field of pugilism. He's one of my fighters. I mean, I got fighters that I recognize and I acknowledge. Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins, he's one of them. Floyd Mayweather, he's another one. Canelo Alvarez, another one of my fighters. And I could go back to the Sugar Ray Leonard. I could go back to Sweet Pea and stuff like that. But, I'm a boxing fan. And to take me away from my, it really has to be important. To take me away from me getting the opportunity to see one of my heroes, one of my guys that I appreciate when it comes to fighting is Bernard Hopkins. When you take me away from that, it has to be important. So on this night, I received a phone call. It was from my supervisor. My supervisor, she said, I need you. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the problem? He said, we have an individual here of the Islamic faith who's looking to kill himself. And all I'm saying to myself is, I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean you have him right here, right? Where you at? So he says, we're at this facility, and we need some help and assistance. So I says, again, tell me, where you at? Where are you? So he says he's at so-and-so and so-and-so. I says, give me 20 minutes. I'll be right there. So I get on my car and I take off. It's raining. It's raining. I'm on the expressway, and I'm looking at the speedometer, and I'm saying to myself, slow down. But at the same time, my energy level, my passion for trying to save a life is it's up high. So I'm trying to go between I'm trying to go between driving safe and trying to do something to save a person's life. So, make a long story short, I get to the institution. And as I go in, they hesitate because I got my baseball cap on. I got this here. I don't have my usual, Islamic garb that I wear every time I enter these facilities. So they're looking at me. They're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm so and so." So I show them my identification, and they let me in. So when I enter, I come in the room, and I'm like, "Wow." I'm amazed, because inside this room it's a basketball court, and on top of the basketball court is the brother with sheets wrapped around his neck. And all I'm saying, and they got a camera on it. They got a camera. You understand? They got a camera watching the entire series, watching the entire event, watching this situation take place right before my very eyes. I'm on camera. What I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, it's on camera. How I'm going to act, it's being televised. So I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, whoa. I'm in too deep here. This ain't my specialty. So I come in and I try to, really get into the mindset of the individual that's sitting up on top of the basketball court. And all I said to myself is, because I'm looking, I'm examining everything. I'm examining everything with a fine-tooth comb. Okay? Remember, I haven't even started school yet. I haven't received an associate's degree. I haven't received a bachelor's degree. I haven't received a master's degree yet. I have no knowledge, no experience of this field. And I'm here and I'm saying to myself, I'm in too deep. But the question is, how did I get here? Because I got a call from my supervisor in which he was told to call me because the individuals who was looking into the matter and dealing with the situation, they realized they was over their head. And they didn't call me until when? 2-3 hours later. So I received a call. I received a call on the end, like, he's our last hope. This is all we got left. Let's take a shot. So I'm put on the spot. I'm put on the banana peel, right? One foot on the banana peel, the other foot on the razor, right? And back of me a big old bowl of alcohol, They looking for me to fail. They looking for me to drop the ball. What I tell y'all though? What I tell you I live and I die by? Principles. Who give me the strength? Allah. Who give me the ability? Allah. Who gives me the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding to deal with all types of matters? Allah. Why was I there? Allah. He decreed it. He decreed that I be there. He decreed that I show up. He decreed that I come near on that day, at that time, and deal with that situation. So I got to talking to the guy. Now I'm in his head. Because remember, I'm also from the streets. I'm also a people's person. I also know how to talk to people. When something's wrong, I can identify. Huh? Serious matter? I can see it. It's written all over your face. I can see it. So we got to talking and we got to talking. And before you know it, it all comes out. He reveals everything that's taking habit, everything that's taking place. And I'm asking him, why are you doing it? Why? He tells me he has children. I attack that. I immediately attack that. You're not going to do this to your children. Not today. You're not going to do this to his children. Now you got me here. You got me here. I want him to feel guilty somehow, some way. I got to get his attention. You got me here. You got me here. You got me on camera. You got me in front of the authorities. You got me in front of my supervisor. You got me here. What did I do to you? What did I do to you? I'm your brother. I practice Islam just like you practice Islam. Islam says suicide is haram. It's forbidden. Haram is what? It's that thing. It's that act. If you do it, you're going to get a punishment for it. You stay away from it, you get a reward. You stay away from the muharramat, the things that are haram, you get a reward. Suicide is haram in Islam. Haram. I didn't express it to him in that way and in that manner. I expressed it to him in a way that was pleasing to him. I helped him understand. You have individuals responsible for you that didn't ask to be here. They're called your children. They didn't sign up for this. You signed up for children. So since you signed up for children, it is your duty to be there for them. You're talking about ending your situation because something didn't go right for you. You're talking about ending your situation because something did not go right for you. This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable, my brother. So here's what you're going to do. Here's what you need to do. You need to take those knots from off your neck, and you come on down here with me. And we're going to pray about this. We're going to pray. We're going to talk to Allah Azza wa Jal, the mighty and the majestic. Huh? We're going to beg him for forgiveness. We're going to ask him for mercy. And we're going to show the administration that the Muslim is a brother of another Muslim. The Muslim is a brother of another Muslim. He doesn't oppress him. He doesn't turn his back on him, nor does he turn him over to the enemy. That's the Muslim. He loves for his brother what he loves for himself. That's the Muslim. We have a little noise in the background. Just please forgive me. So we continue with suicide. This individual contemplating taking his life. What happens? we get into a conversation that helps me understand my brother, his condition, his situation that he's going through. And I help my brother by trying to bring ease to his heart. I help my brother by trying to show him that tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. It's not promised. But if you're dead, it's not going to be there for you. It's opportunity. Whatever happened today that you don't like, whatever happened today that you wasn't feeling, tomorrow, you can change it. You can fix it. So before you know it, by Allah's grace, by Allah's mercy, my brother started to take the ropes from around his neck. Before you know it, he was down off the basketball court. The man was about to commit suicide. The man had knots in the sheet that if he would have jumped, it was going to immediately snap his neck. This man knew how to put sheets in. He knew how to put knots in a sheet. He knew how to wrap it around his neck. He knew how to put it in a position where as though if he jumped to his death, he was going to die. If Allah decrees, he was going to die. This man is my brother. Never met the man. Don't know the man. I know the man testified to La ilaha illallah, that the man testified that nothing deserves the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that he testified to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the servant and the messenger of Allah. That's why he's my brother. The believers are nothing but brothers, one of another. That's why I was there. They say, if it wasn't your brother, would you have been there? Yes, I still would have been there. I still would have been there, regardless who it was. But this time, this individual, he's my brother. I have a duty. I have a duty to my brother. Help your brother, whether he's the oppressor or whether he's being oppressed. That's my duty. So I was able to talk my brother down. When my brother came down, we prayed together. I hugged my brother. I kissed my brother. I let him know I love him. Remember, I just met him. But this is the effect and the power that Islam has over the slave of Allah Azza wa Jal. I let him know I was there for him. I let him know, and moving forward, I'm going to be there for you. Why? Because he's my brother. And this is how we should treat people, generally, across the board, regardless. When we see individuals in need, when we see individuals who need our help, need our assistance, this is how we should move out. All the time. All of us. No big eyes, no little U's. And from this, a hero was born. From this episode, from this story, a hero was born. And this is what I present to you today, my brothers and my sisters. I thank you all again. I appreciate you all. Again, purchase the book. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Nobles. We have the e-Kindle book. Purchase the book. It's chapter 3. A hero was born. Again, I thank you all for your time. I thank you all for your support. Again, practice safety, practice security. COVID-19 is real. Wear the mask. Wear the mask indoors. Practice social distancing. But continually wear the mask. The masks, they have been working. I leave you all as I came. I close as I came. with the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, the mighty and the majestic. وَقُولُوا قَوْلِي هَذَا وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ وَلِي وَلَكُمْ النَّصْرُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى وَالتَّوْفِيقُ وَالثَّبَاتُ وَالسَّدَادُ. Greetings to you all, near and far. Again, thank you all for your support, your kindness, your love. I appreciate you all. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your day.